Nuclear fusion is the energy of the future, and always will be. When capitalists talk about solutions to climate change, they boast the amazing technology we will invent and deploy to rapidly decarbonize the economy and make infinite, abundant energy for everyone. To achieve these lofty visions, they demand steep investments from eco-friendly countries and beg for looser regulations. In reality, capitalism has no intention of providing a miracle cure to climate change. According to the International Energy Agency (IEA), fossil fuels provide 82% of the world's energy needs, and carbon-heavy biofuels provide more energy than all green sources combined. Additionally, all stated targets laughably fail to meet IEA's Sustainable Development Scenario (SDS). Coal currently provides 28% of the world's energy. Industrial processes such as smelting and refining consume 80% of energy derived from coal. According to the IEA, despite legitimate concerns about air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions, coal use is likely to continue to be significant in the future in the absence of concerted government policy. To follow the SDS, coal use must drop from over 5,500 megatons used worldwide in 2018 to 2,100 megatons in 2040, a 62% drop in just 20 years. However, stated coal use by companies and governments will stay roughly flat through the 2040s. Oil currently provides 32% of the world's energy. Transportation such as cars, trucks, ships, and airplanes use the majority of the world's oil. The world consumed 98 million barrels of oil per day in 2018, a figure that must be brought down to 66 million barrels per day by 2040, according to the SDS. However, current production and consumption estimates predict we will consume 106 million barrels of oil per day by the 2040s, a clear step in the wrong direction. Natural gas currently provides 22% of the world's energy. Natural gas is the cleanest burning fossil fuel and the fastest growing energy source in the world. While much cleaner than coal or oil, natural gas flaring at production sites produces high methane emissions, which are 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide emissions. Flaring must reduce to virtually zero in just 5 years, and no natural gas must peak in 2030 to meet SDS guidelines. Unfortunately, flaring shows no signs of such a substantial drop-off, and natural gas consumption will continue to grow into the 2050s. Nuclear fission currently provides 5% of the world's energy. Despite its history of infamous accidents, nuclear fission is by far the safest form of energy on Earth. Nuclear energy claims only 90 lives per 1,000 terawatt-hours produced, compared to figures in the thousands or tens of thousands for fossil fuels. The SDS says that we must increase nuclear power generation by 36%, from 439 gigawatts in 2018 to 601 gigawatts in 2040. Current plans peak nuclear energy production at 493 gigawatts in 2030. Countries closely guard nuclear secrets out of fear of weapons proliferation, and public concerns about waste and accidents stall reactor construction. Over 50 years, the world's nuclear fleet has shaved the equivalent of 2 years off global carbon emissions, and according to the IEA, growth in carbon emissions despite new focus on renewable energy highlights the need for more fission energy. Solar and wind power together provide just 1.5% of the world's energy supply. Both come in different forms: photovoltaic and concentrated solar, onshore and offshore wind. According to the IEA, production of each of these must increase 3, 11, 3, and 10 times respectively by 2030 to meet sustainability goals. Photovoltaic cells use precious rare earth elements. Their scarcity informs the need to develop concentrated solar power, lest we strip mine the seafloor to meet our energy needs. According to the IEA, onshore wind is a proven, mature technology with an extensive global supply chain, and offshore wind is also expected to grow rapidly. Solar cells are one of the few energy sources on track to meet global climate change targets. Hydroelectric power is the world's largest source of renewable energy, 2.5% of all production, and is expected to remain on top, but limited space to expand hydroelectric production caps total output. The IEA predicts only a 32% increase in output from 4,300 terawatt hours in 2018 to 5,700 terawatt hours in 2030. Geothermal energy currently produces 92 terawatt hours of energy per day, and the SES seeks to triple that by 2030. What does all this mean? Even the conservative emission goals set by the Paris Climate Accords and IEA's Sustainable Development Scenario fall dreadfully short of models necessary to prevent catastrophic climate change. Current economic trajectories indicate we will continue to use more fossil fuels for decades to come, a step in the wrong direction. Capitalists may promise technical fixes and miracle cures, but the economic data shows absolutely no reason to believe them. Even meeting conservative goals requires dramatic shifts in fossil fuel and renewable energy consumption. Capitalism simply has no incentive to decrease carbon emissions until our climate has reached the point of no return. New technologies like fuel-efficient vehicles and improved batteries pale in comparison to the dramatic need to rapidly decarbonize our economy. Socialists recognize that we do not need a technical fix, we need an economic fix. All the technology to combat climate change could have been implemented 40 years ago had oil companies not buried pioneering research. The perverse incentive structures of capitalism demonstrate that so long as a tiny minority of people can continue to make trillions of dollars from destroying the planet, they will. Carbon taxes, efficiency goals, and unenforceable emissions targets will not solve climate change. Eco-socialism demands rapid militant action to dismantle the capitalist structures and incentives which destroy our planet, then replace them with sustainable energy and production. Critics' only defenses are to mock eco-socialism as a hippie pipe dream, deny the disastrous science behind climate change, and speculate that some future technology will magically restructure our economy to be environmentally friendly and profitable to billionaires. A green economy is possible now. It has been possible for decades. We do not need to rely on exploitation and pollution to meet everyone's basic needs. Capitalism exploits and pollutes while failing miserably to meet people's basic needs. The solution to climate change lies not in petty reform or informed consumption, but in a radical redistribution of wealth and power to the working class. Today's problems do not vanish with future technology. We must fight for a just world ourselves.